Okay, so the first thing that's really working right now for us is that we're building our own list. And this applies mainly to our clients, not so much to us, because we're at a stage where we're not really actively building our list right now, because we actually have more business than we can handle right now in our business, in our agency. So why do you need to start building your own list? I know some of you have heard this before, but why you need to build your own list is because if you are, for example, running Facebook ads, if you haven't got banned yet, well, you know, you're going to get banned sooner or later, right? And especially in Q4, this past 2 months, 3 months, people who have been really complying, that have been really just following the rules and all that, still get banned. And people's businesses are suffering, right? I've got friends who are like, you know, previously used to spend 500, 1,000 a day on Facebook, and then their ad accounts get banned, and then they're spending, now they set up a new account, they can only spend 40 ringgit a day, right? And, you know, that totally stuffs up the whole business. And my hope that is that you don't have to ever fall into this trap, right? Where you're completely just relying on Facebook or Google or Pinterest or one of those traffic channels for 100% of your business. That is a very, very dangerous place to be. So yeah, to do it long term, right, you need to build your own list. And I'm not sure whether you guys have noticed some of the work we're doing with Vince Tan. And what we're doing right now is we're building his list, okay? Our goal is over the next 6 to 12 months, build a list of over 1 million people, okay? And right now what we've done is we've built a funnel where it's like really, really comprehensive. We got multiple free downloads up front and all that stuff. And right now the funnel, for every dollar we're spending, we're actually recovering that $1 back. So in essence, what we're doing is we're building the list at 0 cost, okay? Because it's what we call self-liquidating funnel, okay? So we have lead magnets coming in, we have upsells, we have automated webinars, all that stuff all in place so that basically we keep increasing our list every week without actually spending money. So we're actually net, I think, is quite even at the moment, or even a slight profit from this funnel. So we can afford to pump in more dollars and keep building our list, because we know that eventually one day Facebook or whoever, you know, costs will keep rising, stuff will keep getting more expensive, Facebook will keep banning your ads, okay? So I think that's a very important way to hedge your business if you're relying just on Facebook traffic right now. And I guess to top it off, an extra tip from this is to actually look at alternative channels, which is what we diversified into massively this year, is that we started advertising on other channels such as YouTube and various other Google channels. We're also trialing with other social media channels right now as well, so that, you know, if you know, Facebook suddenly changes its policy or someone else changes its policy, our business and our clients' businesses are not dependent on one traffic channel. But ultimately, it's good to have your own list. So say, for example, with Vince right now, he has about 30,000 people on his list. So we're launching a new summit soon, right? And through this 30,000, we'll probably get 1,000 to 2,000 people coming for that summit as well, right? So that saves a lot on advertising costs as well, and it's a smarter long-term play. So if you're not building your list yet, make sure you start building your list, okay? So start building your list, whether it's some freebie that you give up front, okay? I encourage you to start building your list, okay, and diversify your risk. I think if you can master Google and Facebook, 2 channels, that's enough, right? For now, okay, because most of us are probably small business owners, and the more you try and diversify too much, you will also have problems as well. So yeah, make sure you look at other channels. YouTube, for example, is a great way to diversify, which is also under Google. But yeah, look at those other channels, definitely. All right, so that's tip number one. Okay, so tip number two is to develop key relationships. Okay, now I guess this applies for both B2B and B2C. Okay, all right. So this year, just to give you a bit of background, previously we were massively into promoting seminars, right, in our agency. What happened was during the coronavirus, as you know, all the events stopped. So our business dropped drastically, right? Thankfully, we managed to pivot quite quickly into webinars and virtual events. And but we also wanted to get more clients. So we tried a lot of stuff, like we tried SEO, we tried paid ads and all that stuff, right? The issue there is we did get leads, but the quality of the leads were not exactly the type of people that we want to work with, right? They're generally kind of like pretty broke, you know, it's like, okay, I can only have enough money to do one webinar kind of clients. So that was in general, that's the main type of people that we were getting. So we decided that we want to pivot a bit, right? Where we kind of like try different strategies, and what really worked was developing relationships with key influencers. Okay, so one of the guys that I've developed a very good relationship with is, for example, a guy called Tom Madsen. He's based in Canada, and basically what I did to develop the relationship was that he needed someone to run some ads for his events. And I basically volunteered to do it for free. Yeah, actually we not entirely for free, but at kind of no risk to him. Okay, so he only paid us for results, right? Not for any retainer fee or any fixed fee. So what happened is now out of that event is starting to happen in January, and basically he's prepared to refer like 8 to 10 people to us as clients. All of these people are in his mastermind group that have paid like 25,000 or 30,000 US dollars to be part of this mastermind group. So you know that they're high caliber people. They're not like, you know, the really, you know, poor quality clients, right? So yeah, so the key there is to really, what we did there, we're not ready to take on all 8 clients because we don't have the capacity right now, because we're just busy with so many other projects right now. But when I'm ready, you know, I will chat to him and probably be able to get a few across the board, right? So that's just one example of how key relationships can really, really help your business at this time. And, you know, just to invest a little bit of effort into your key relationships. Another quick example I just want to give you is that I met this other guy who's also an agency owner at one of his mastermind groups, right? So he talked about himself, and then I reached out after the event because I felt that, you know, I could give him a bit more pointers as to how to grow his business. So I reached out to him. He's based in the US, and we had a 1-hour conversation. So I gave him value, didn't ask anything back in return. 2 weeks later, he goes, hey, Terrence, I've got this guy, e-commerce expert looking for someone to run his Facebook ads. So are you interested? I said, yeah, sure. So we hooked up, and, you know, basically that guy became a client. So, you know, it's just little things like this that you can do. Of course, you need to be selective, right? You know, you need to make sure you're nurturing the right relationships, because there are people out there who just take from you and not give anything back, right? So you got to be smart as well, have a bit of wisdom, and use your intuition a little bit to develop these key relationships. And, you know, you just be amazed at what comes out of it. Even with Vince, okay? With Vince, we've been talking a long time, but we never did anything together, I've known him for like maybe 3 years, but we've never done anything together. Only this year, when he launched his first summit, and he's looking for people to market for him. And I said, and he approached me and I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it for you. I didn't even ask for any money or anything in return, just to cultivate that relationship. And now, obviously, we're partnering, doing stuff together, and he is constantly referring new clients to me. So, sure, I might have missed out on maybe, a couple of $1,000s of not charging him the first time around, but through that, the relationship now is worth so much more. And now he actually wants to buy a stake in our business as well, right? Which we're talking about right now. So yeah, those are just some examples of how, it's kind of like a bit of karma in play, but it's a little bit more than that. It's kind of like strategically nurturing your key relationships that will really make a difference in your business, okay? And at the same time, while we're talking about this, it's also important to nurture your existing clients and customers, okay? Make sure you nurture your existing clients and customers, and because they are the ones who will come back with repeat purchase, who will refer clients to you and customers to you. So make sure you take care of them very well as well. Make sure you always be in touch with them and constant contact with them, okay? So these are the key. This is a very, very kind of like non-paid advertising in a way, okay? But it works really well. So right now, I just want you to think, who are the key relationships in your business that you should look at nurturing right now? And just make a list of maybe 2-3 names right now, okay? Just take a minute and write it down for yourself, and just write down the 2 to 3 names that you should be nurturing in your business. Okay, so maybe some of you are like, oh, where do I find these relationships to nurture, right? So obviously, I'm not talking about nurturing relationships with your drinking buddies, right? Probably that's not going to help you very much, okay? It might be very fun, but it's probably not going to help your business very much. So I would say one of the key places to look for this awesome relationships are in like high-level mastermind groups, okay? So not the free mastermind groups, but where you actually pay to get in, because then you meet high-caliber people to network with. And a lot of the smart business people, smart entrepreneurs, they go to this like high-level mastermind groups. Yeah, sure, they get the learning, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the key relationships that you can develop out of that with like really, really good influential people, okay? So like I know this, like for example, Digital Marketer by Ryan Dice, they have a war room, like Digital Marketers War Room, which I think costs something like $25,000 or $30,000 a year to be part of, and they have meetings every month or 2 months. I'm not sure. It's like a super fantastic place to like network. And people like, I'm not sure whether you've heard of Nick Kuzmich, who is recognized as one of the top Facebook marketers in the world. That's where he got his profile, and that's where he's got his clients, because he was part of that inner circle, so to say, which helped him to leverage his business, get on stages, and build up his reputation, because he says, look, I'm doing Facebook ads for this guy, and I'm doing Facebook ads for this guy, right? And these are high profile people in the industry, okay? So if you want to discover how to build key relationships, that is one of the places to go to. I know Vince has this Titanium Mastermind group, right? Which is, I feel is not high level enough, but it's good enough, right? Because people are paying something like $5,000 a year to be part of the group, right? So, and he's got retreat and everything. And I'm not promoting it, right? I'm just giving you an example of what kind of groups you should be joining. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you going to your local Toastmasters and stuff like that, or BNI groups, yeah, you get some clients, but you're not going to get very good queue relationships. Okay, so yeah, so hope that helped.